How's it going, Song of Ice and Fire fans? Grant from Catch Miniatures, and today we've got a really special guest on board. We've got Aaron from Dice and Lens Still. How's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Excited about tomorrow?
Yes, I am both excited and nervous. It's a big event. We've got a lot riding on it. It's the first time we've done it, so I wanted to make it look as amazing as possible. But so far, everything is all going according to plan. Tables are mostly laid out. Got to do the rest of the setting up first thing in the morning. But yeah, it's going to be good, and we're looking forward to seeing you all.
Are you? Is the cables? Are you still setting up an electric chair for the bottom table for the person that comes last?
We have got a PVC mat for the bottom table, so the tables get progressively worse as you get down.
Well, to be fair, mate.
PVC mat was just as bad.
Yeah, to be fair, that's not bad though. PVC mat's
donated by one of the players.
Nice.
Yeah, to be fair, song trays do slide quite nicely.
Yeah,
you can get an extra centimetre out of it.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go through some of the list today.
Yeah.
So let's load up. Let's get up this stats page for you. Not that one. That one. There we go. Warfare 2024. First time this Song of Ice and Fire has been at Warfare. So this is what we're looking at, Aaron. You ready for the deep dive? Should we get stuck into the stats first?
Yeah, let's just jump straight in. Let's do it. Some good stats as well, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, I've had a cheeky little look prior to us going streaming, because I wanted to sort of have like an idea of what's going on here. But a really good showing from House Targaryen at 21%. You've got, but other than that, there's quite a nice, solid sort of balance between factions you've got going now. Unfortunately, no Boltons. No one's brave enough to run Boltons, but we've got Lannisters, Baratheons, and Martells. Night's Watch and Stark really sitting at the same sort of percent, and Free Folk sitting at the same sort of percentage really between that 8 and 15% mark. So it's a decent spread of factions there.
Yeah, it's not bad looking. I mean, I'm a Bolton player, so I personally feel a bit attacked by it, but I understand why people don't run them. But a big outlier, especially with the recent social media outrage, shall we say, post previous update, the Night's Watch, there's more than one person playing them, and that is something worth talking about, because it turns out they're not as bad as people make out after the latest patch.
No. Well, to be fair, I think we talk about it quite a lot on this channel, and as well, especially, is that the game is the most balanced that it's been in a long time, and I think Night's Watch, aren't the the dictator they had been in previous editions. They're still a good faction. They're just not overpowered as they were in previous editions. So I think Night's Watch are good enough to be playing with in any edition really at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is they needed toning down, right? There's anybody who says otherwise is just wrong. They did need toning down, but they haven't been nerfed into the dirt the way people do. They just require a bit more thinking. So some of the stuff requires a bit more setup, requires a bit more pre-planning, rather than just play a tactics card and win the game. So, and I like that. They're in a good place. They're beatable. They're not egregious. They're still strong, but they're not overpowered.
Yeah, sounds balanced to me.
It sounds like exactly where they should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And what I did notice as well, and it's testament to how balanced a lot of stuff in the game is, and how interesting the game is at the minute, is if you check out the commander section, and we look at there's only 3 people running Oberyn, and he's the highest repeat commander. So in all these lists, there's 3 Oberyn, and the rest is 2 or less, which is a decent, really decent spread of commanders.
I mean, just to prove your point on that, Sunday is one list format, and with the exception of 2 Mag the Mighties, everybody is running a different commander, and that's with 4 start players. So it just goes to show that even the commanders themselves are more internally balanced, and of course, that's what everybody wants. Everybody likes to see all characters rather than just, oh look, he's running the mountain again, or oh look, it's Jon Snow again. Like, it's nice to get a bit of variation, and Sunday has proved that there's plenty out there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Just looking through the list of commanders now as well, see what we've got going on. Queen of Marine shown once. See, to have such a massive showing of Targaryens, and there's no real repeated commanders. I think there's only two Grey Worm, two Khal Drogo, and two Darren Harris, Stormcloak Captain. Man, that is, whoever's running them is a hero in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Brandon's going to be listening, and he's a big advocate for Dario. He wants to make him work. I like Dario, but he's pushing him quite a lot at the moment, and yeah, it's nice to see. Very nice to see.
Yeah, definitely, and just for me, it always goes back to the sculpts, and the Darren Harris sculpt is incredible. So, him getting table time is all good in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you guys in the chat have any opinions on what's being shown on the screen, make sure you do put a comment in there, and we're monitoring them, so we'll comment back as you chuck stuff in. Cool. So that's the stats on it. Entries by faction. We'll get into some of these lists then, shall we?
Let's do it.
Cool. So we have 24 people playing, running 2 lists each. Should we start top and work our way through? Start with Ashley Keys.
Yeah, let's do that. One thing to note, just before we go through these lists, it's worth mentioning to everybody that the tournament restriction that we have is both lists have to be used at least once, and it's a 3-game day. So that means 2 lists will be used. So one list will be used twice, and another list will be used once. So it stops the one list spamming. But in addition, I put the proviso that the commanders have to be different, and there has to be at least one different NCU and combat unit. So it's led to lots of different styles of list rather than just the same list copy and pasted, or the same list but with one small change based on NCU for whatever. So with those restrictions in place, which are very minor, but it does make people think a bit more. And it also means, as we were just talking about, more commanders get played, more people get put on the table, and you get a nicer variety on the day.
Yeah.
So it's worth just mentioning that before we go through them all.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right, cool. So let's get cracking on with them then. So yeah, Ashley Keys first up. One of your lads from Dice of Lead and Steel.
Yeah, he's one of the infamous Keys brothers. Relatively new to the game, but he knows what he's doing. He's been playing war games for quite a while, so he knows what he's doing. Sometimes the dice let him down, but he's taken to Martell's quite strong, so I expect good things from this weekend.
Awesome. Ashley, I think, was requesting that we actually do this the list breakdown prior to the tournament as well. So
it was them or probably Nick, bless him. It was one of them.
Cool. Okay, sweet. So we've got Vargo Hotem. So look at this quickly for this list. He's got Vargo in a Sunspear Royal Guard, Sand Skirmish Dervish Captain, Sunspear Dervishes with Oberyn Martell, Edric Dane, Mama Zorst Riders, nice, with Glory Seeker, and 2 NCUs, Dorian and Nymeria. That's a nice list.
Yeah, does a little bit of everything you want it to do. Martell's love the weakened token, and Vargo's going to love that weakened token. Yep. So that's going to be nice to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Edric Dane keeping the dervishes alive as they run around cutting people up. And Zorst Riders, I love to see it. I'm a neutrals player at heart. I fell in love with Zorst Riders, and they only keep getting better. People sleep on them, but I think people are starting to wake up, especially now that they turn off abilities. So like defensive abilities, Counter-Strike, Disrupt, all gone. Yep. And for a 6-point unit to shut down an 8-point unit, slap a weak vulnerable token on there and you're laughing. Yep. And I like Zorst Riders now, and it's nice to see them being used up there. And obviously Vargo's cards as well are really going to help him, help these Zorst Riders, because obviously they'll let them do the extra damage on the failed panic tests and so on with spending that weakened token, which obviously they themselves put out, which is very nice.
Yeah. Cool. Second list, we've got Oberyn Martell Commander in Sunspear Royal Guard, was second unit of Sunspear Royal Guard with Darren Harris making an appearance. And then June Vipers with Elias Sand. Obviously, Elias Sand has just had a bit of a tweak up in the recent patch.
Thank God, nobody liked boisterous charisma.
Yeah, I think now for 1 point she's really really good. I mean, I recorded a season 5 challenge with Jordan Abiscus on Discord, so I'm gonna release that soon. We spoke at length about this, and I think for 1 point now, Elias Sandys really is a solid choice for Martell players. Um,
I really like her. I really like her. 1 point for precision is on its own is worth it.
yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of times.
yeah, 100%, yeah. You know, and Martell's got decent morale, so they'll be passing the morale test or passing the panic test to be punching out tokens from Boisterous Charisma, so it makes sense to me. Darren Harris and Sunspear Royal Guard giving an already punchy unit some more punch with critical blow and precision.
Yeah, and scoring a wound on rolls of 1 doesn't matter because you've got martial training to be re-rolling those ones anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and obviously Owen Martell is
He's just strong. He's just good. Everybody takes him, and
Hmm.
everybody always likes to shout those famous 3 quotes.
Yep.
You killed her and all that.
Oh
I
yeah.
expect Flash to scream in that every single time he rolls attack dice. If he doesn't, I'll ban him.
Awesome. Just dress up as a mountain and walk around him.
I might. I just might.
Friends using this list. We've got New Doran. New Doran a really powerful piece for Martells. And the tweaked Nymeria and Tyene. This is a really nice list. I really like this list because he's running lots of new stuff.
Yeah. As I said, he's just picked up the Martell faction. He's just brought into it quite heavily, and he's enjoying them. And I'm enjoying looking at him playing it. Slightly different to our other regular Martell player, who was his list. We'll go through later.
Yeah, awesome. Alex Grant in the chat. Aaron loves his horses. Have you got a pet horse as well?
Oh, do you know what? I wish I did.
Ride it around the garden with your hammer.
Oh, I live in a flat, mate, so I should ride it around the flat.
Awesome. Cool. Next up, then, we have Ross McIntosh with Free Folk.
Now, this guy is a man after my own heart, and he might just get my TO award just for submitting these lists, honestly.
Let's have a look. So we got...
I'm an OG Free Folk player, and I play the Horde. I haven't took a giant or a monster in years, and this guy, he takes both my commanders that I like, and yeah, he's already got my vote for just like the coolest person there.
Awesome. He's got Harmer and Jarl in Spearwives, giving him outflank and enhanced mobility, so that's going to be a tricky unit to be dealing with. 2 units of 3-foot rares of skin changes. So with this tournament, how have you ruled the bear thing? You allowed it played as written, or you?
This rules as written, and quite frankly, the bear now is what it was when it was first released.
Yeah.
And I don't see loads of people outwardly crying to ban Brock's Boar.
Yeah.
And I really like Brock's Boar, and he's better than a bear. So I honestly don't see an issue. And at the end of the day, certain free folk lists, you don't need the bears, right? And that's fine. Some people abuse them to get the extra activations and all that stuff, and the extra models on the board. But fundamentally, if you're just a casual free folk player, or you don't necessarily meta chase, I think they're absolutely fine, and it just adds the theme to the free folk, which is what they want. Especially if they can't take neutrals. Like a unit of flayed men can wipe this unit out with a skin changer, and that's your bear gone. And they don't have that option. So yes, I'm speaking a little bit biased because I am an OG free folk player, but at the same time, I think they're okay. They're just fine the way they are. And the other 2 options are also just as good now. Where it used to be bear guarantee, now the other 2 are viable, and that has, by extension, nerfed the bear, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, fair enough. The Fiends with the Warriors Clan Chieftain in, giving them that resilience. So makes it already very defensive unit even more defensive.
Yeah. Every time I run free folk, Warriors Chieftain in the Fens every time.
Yeah, nice. I've seen him run quite a lot in Raiders as well, just making them just fucking irritating.
Yes, yeah, because obviously with the Iron Resolve negating that disorganized, especially if you've got like Mance or something nearby as well, they can really become a unit that just doesn't move, especially if you can keep healing them up with Craster or obviously Regroup.
Yeah. And Cave Dweller Savages. Now, this is a really nice choice because we don't see these on the table a lot nowadays. So it's really nice to see these out.
I'm just waiting for people in the chat, especially who play against me regularly, to be screaming out that they see Cave Dweller Savages all the time, because they're the first unit I add into my list before I even choose my commander.
Yeah. Well,
I love them.
Well, I'm glad you use them because they to me, I'm not a free folk player. I've never really got into. I don't think I've ever actually played with free folk, against many times, but not with. But if I did, I'd want to be using these because the miniatures are nice. I love the idea behind them.
I always slap armor attachment in them for a movement 7 sentinel unit.
Yeah.
They can just disappear to wherever you want them to be and just rear charge, flank charge, whatever it is you want them to do. And they are just a menace. And obviously, if they chose to attack them, you're simply making them better. So when that sentinel does come in, it's going to hurt even more.
Nice. And then for the NCUs, Lady Val, Steer, and Craster. Pretty decent lineup of NCUs, yeah.
Maneuverability, combat, healing. What more can you ask for?
Jam sandwiches?
Yeah. I could do with a sandwich right now. Well, I just had a Burger King, so maybe not just now.
Oh, fair enough. I'll swap I'll swap my jam sandwich for your Burger King, though.
Mate, you'll have to have it in a couple of hours' time, I'm afraid.
Awesome. And then, so the second list, we've got Tom and Giant Spade and Spearwives. That's a really nice combination, obviously, because with his Sundering and their Furious Charge, that's going to make armor just not worth a shit, really.
A staple in my list as well, with Tom and Commander in Spearwives. It's just a good combo.
Yeah, it really is. I've learned to fear.
Then we've got the Fens.
Go ahead.
You said then we've got the Fens. The reason why I'm going to say we'll talk about the Fens now is because the Fens are the only other unit, with the exception of this mad lad bringing 4 free folk raiders.
Nice.
Truly a hero of the North. And Ross, if you're listening or whatever, shake my hand, because honestly, a man after my own heart. Absolutely love it. This is going to be a nightmare for people to deal with because, sure, raiders aren't great, but think of the amount of activations the board presence is going to have. That gang up is going to be a nightmare. And as if things weren't bad enough, you kill 2 of them, 2 more come back because of Endless Horde. So he's got 6 units of raiders in this list, and I'm here for it. I am just here for it. Everything else, it doesn't matter. I'm just here for 6 units of raiders.
Awesome. Yeah, and then then for NCUs, Lady Val, Cresta, and Lady Darla. Lady Darla's I really wrote Lady Darla. I've got a friend that plays free folk quite a lot, and she's fucking irritating getting rid of my deck.
Yeah, she absolutely. She definitely leans into the players that like the control mechanic in terms of just like upsetting your opponent. So if a Lannister player dives into free folk, they'll gravitate to Darla. Absolutely.
Nice. Well, it says, does Ross play free folk regularly? Then do you know him well? Or?
I don't know him. I don't think I've ever met him, but I'm about to know him quite well because he's my new best friend for this event.
Awesome. We got Dan in the chat as well. Dan G.
Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah. No Boltons, mate. No Boltons. Travesty.
No,
mate. Travesty.
Sorry, Dan. If I was playing, there would be.
Next up, we've got Robert Grant running Night's Watch. So the first of our Night's Watch players here.
Yeah, and my old man as well.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you what then.
Yeah. You got my brother and my dad playing in this event, yeah.
Fantastic, awesome.
I'll tell them I put them together, table 1. First game, just have them out.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So do you want to go through these lists then, if you're familiar with them?
Yeah, well, I effectively helped building his list. Again, he's relatively new to the game. He's only played like 2 games before attending my last event, which was a couple of months ago, and he's only played like another game or so since. So he's relatively new to the game, but he is just obsessed with Jon Snow. Like, honestly, anybody who's listening going to the event, don't talk about the Night's Watch because honestly, like, he won't shut up, and then the whole day will have to pause. So he is a big fan of the Black. But yeah, so it's a pretty standard list with this one. Again, keeping all the strong stuff. Jon Snow and Sworn Brothers, nice aggressive punchy unit, vulnerable tokens the entire time. If you charge or get charged, your opponent's vulnerable and you're getting rerolls. So, and obviously Jon Snow commander cards, although they got nerfed, they're still really good. Charging off the horses is not to be underestimated, especially with Sworn Brothers, who are just very good for their points.
Blenders.
Yeah. And then further on, we've got the Sworn Brothers of the Watch Captain. It's a staple. Everybody knows what it does. 8 dice, 3s, vulnerable rerolls constantly. And if you hit me, I'm just going to hit you back. So hit them fast, hit them hard, and just hope you don't get that relentless coming off. Then the dreaded Alistair Thorn in Satin. If you want Rose Knights in Night's Watch, this is how you get it. 4 up morale, heal a wound and deal a wound, then -1 to hit with counter strike.
Yeah.
If you take a ranged unit like Ranger Trackers and just shoot into the combat all day long, and they become a real nightmare to move this unit. Healing deal, we all know how toxic and irritating that is. Yeah. But in the Night's Watch, especially with some of their tactics cards, or even with J or Commander, you have them healing like 3 wounds every time they pass a panic test, and that is insane. So very strong indeed.
Yeah. And it's a very solid list as well, because you've got a couple of you've got a defensive unit, you've got the healing, and you've got 2 very much offensive units as well. So you've got a bit of everything in this list, right?
Yeah. And again, he's a new player, so I wanted to keep it a bit balanced, not too techy, hence why there isn't any Ranger Hunters in there. But the last time I played with him, we were discussing some of the dirty stuff you can do with Ranger Hunters and some of the combos, and he is definitely going to be looking into them for the next event. It's more of just trying to get some games under his belt, and I think this list will serve him admirably.
Yeah, I think if you need to start talking about what dirty stuff you can do with Ranger Hunters, I mean, Ygritte is probably your first port of call there, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Cool. And then so in his next list, then, so we've got the Alistair Thorn list. Do you want to go through this one with us?
Yeah. So this one, obviously, he only wants to run Jon Snow all day. He's a Jon Snow fanboy, but he's not allowed. So he had to bite the bullet. So he's got Alistair Thorn in their commander version. This list is a lot more punchy. This is a very aggressive list. This is a list if he just doesn't really care about the objective and he's just tabling his opponent is a way to win. 2 Sworn Brothers, both of Watch Captains, right? I don't need to say anything more on that. Silly and outrageous. The Ranger Trackers, the first unit I add to a Night's Watch list every single time. Every time I play this list, or any Night's Watch in general, Ranger Trackers go in. I love them. Good utility unit, shooting, can dance about. They can ignore terrain as well. They can just sit on stakes and just beg your opponent to charge them. So, very good Ranger Trackers. And then obviously with Alistair Thorn's cards, they're just simply going to make this army that's already aggressive even more aggressive.
Yeah.
And then you've got Delis Manister in there for even more aggression on those on his influence.
Yeah.
So if he's upset and you see him running this list, brace yourself. Even the free player might not be able to stand up to this.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's go. There's a couple of lists, mate. Really good couple of lists. Cool. Then we go to Nicholas Keys, presumably Ashley's brother.
Yeah, so all the Keys are brothers. Nicholas is one of our top players for the Dice of the DLS Wargaming team.
Yeah.
And will more or less be taking over as our song team leader once we start getting everything all sorted out on the admin front on that side. So he's a very good player. And the lists that he has brought today are the most egregious lists that you've ever played against, because every single unit has got to the last. And if it doesn't have to the last, he pops a Shalice and Shireen. So you have to kill this list like 13 times before his list goes away. And all the while, you're taking wounds off those Stag Knight Nobles the entire time. It's a unit that puts your hand in your head because he's just repeating the same words over and over again, but it's strong. It might not hit as well, especially if you can get the Crown Zone and shut down the Kingsmen. But he's got an answer for that as well in Alistair Florent. So good luck shutting this unit down. He's a good player. He knows what he's doing. And I expect good things from him. He keeps putting himself down a little bit, but I think he'll do well.
Yeah, solid list, mate. It's got lots of offence and lots of defence. In fact, it's got
loads
of defence.
It's a very tough list. Yeah, honestly. it's exhausting to play against because it's like, I guess I'm just not dead. It's like, God damn it.
A whack-a-mole, but with armor.
And as soon as you kill a unit, Shilly's a Shireen, problem solved, they're back again. It's like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah, it's just a strong list for 6 activations. So obviously we're down activations, but it won't take long for that to balance back out again when you start chipping away at some units.
Now, once he gets on those objectives, once he's on those objectives, moving him is the issue.
Yeah. Just quickly popping in the chat though, Brian McGonigal said he finds the lack of mammoths disturbing.
I don't know if he's talking about Ross or if he's talking about me not playing them, but Brian, we'll have words next time we see each other because I like mammoths. Mammoths are the only things I do take. It's just giants that I don't. But I don't think there's any mammoths actually this weekend. So if he has been looking at the events and he said that, then I'm actually on his side to a point. And also Tom. Hello, Tom. Glad you're listening. We need to catch up soon. So it's a shame that Tom can't make it down. But Nick's going up literally next week.
Yeah.
With some of these lists up to Leeds. So he's going to go give the Northerners a bit what for as well. So Tom can look forward to that.
Nice. Cool. So the Nick's second list has got a Renly Baratheon. It's really quite nice, really, because people should do this more. We're running the Stannis and Renly dual loyalty as a duelist thing, but I mean, I'm guilty of it. Is when I'm running Baratheons, I sort of end up being on one loyalty side and not splitting.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a lot of controversy around tournament players and TOs that allow loyalties as separate factions. But although I do understand it to a point, but you've only got to look at armies like the Targaryens, all right? All Dothraki, you don't separate them out as a separate army. So why should the Baratheons do? And if you could allow some crossover between some of their strongest units, which are the loyalty ones, I could understand. But they are locked, and I don't see an issue with it. They are fundamentally the same faction with different playstyles. It's no different from a Stark player running all Tully.
Yeah.
Because, sure, he might have the same tactics cards, but his list plays wildly different to an Umber list, like completely differently. And, I'm more I'm on the fence, but I'm still leaning into both loyalties are allowed for TOs in tournaments. I think it's fine. And plus, again, it encourages the list variation. It's not just seeing the same thing time and time again. And ultimately, list variation is the real winner because it's nice to not play against the same list every 5 minutes from different players as well.
Yeah. So that's not something I've encountered. In do some TOs not allow the mixed faction like the?
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think Thomas, who's listening, has actually done that.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a dig at you, Thomas. I love you, but I don't see the issue with it personally. Maybe if they get a big change and it changes some things up, but I don't think. I think it's fine. Other factions don't get mixed up. As I said, full Dothraki Khal Drogo lists don't get separated. So I don't understand why this should be any different.
Oh, fair enough.
Because it's no different from taking Flayed Men in every single list, is it? Let's be honest.
No. I think that's the way that Baratheons. I mean, Tom does a lot of thematic, fluffy tournaments, doesn't he? But I think that's where Baratheons' strength lies when you've got the one for your offensive Stannis, your defensive Renly, or something along those. Oh yeah, Tom just admitted it's him, so all good.
Yeah, if you want a perfect example, look at Free Folk. They literally changed their whole tactics deck for going all monsters.
Yeah,
and that's allowed. So but it's fine. Everybody each to their own. I think there's no issue. And as I said, I'm all about letting people take what they want within reason and just increasing and encouraging diversity.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, but his second list though, 2 Stag Knights, 2 Rose Knights. That's another list that just won't die. I mean, this is
Look at the healing in that.
It's horrendous.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Heal and deal. Tactics cards, heal and deal. They've got resilience. He's got rally cry. And then scroll a bit further down. Look at those NCUs.
Yeah.
Heal and deal. This is again, as I said, Nick has brought some very solid, very egregious lists to play against. And they're not fun if you don't know what you're doing against them because it's like hitting a brick wall with your bare hands. You're just not getting through it, and then you're taking damage every single time you do. So flank charges, vulnerable tokens, just hit these units as hard as you can and punch through them as quickly as you can. Otherwise, if you get stuck in a grind fight with either of this loyalty, you're in for a bad time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like again, Rose Knights are one of them. They're one of the earlier Baratheon units after when the loyalty units started coming out, and Rose Knights are just such nice models. They really are stunning. So it's gonna be good to see them on the table, especially in the quantity that Nick's bringing them.
Yeah, he was joking. He was going to bring 4, but I managed to talk him out of it.
Nice.
He's got 2 Stag Knights instead, so I'm sorry for everybody for making that work.
Awesome. Next up, Paul Davies from the Shed Gaming Club, running Baratheons.
And another split as well, Stannis and Renly loyalty as well, which is nice to see.
Oh, awesome. He's got one of my favourite units. Cool. So he's got, Andrest. So I play Baratheons not frequently, but, enough that I'll sort of get them. And, yeah, I mean, I love Andrest as a commander. He's totally against the factions, what the faction's trying to do. And I think he does plug a gap, but I really enjoy using him. I really do. I think he's got some
and this is the thing as well, right? When you play against Baratheons, you're expecting to play against the grind army that's going to sit there and hit you, and you when you hit them, they hit you back. Yeah. Not Andrew. He turns that on its head, and it's like, no, I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
And if people haven't played against Andrew before, when you've got assault orders, rush of aggression in there, you've got units of champions of the Stag charging 10 inches up the board, 14 inches of their free maneuver. You think you're safe, and there they are up in your face. And, vulnerable token doesn't bother them. They're a 2-up save. So,
yeah,
I really like him. He's my go-to whenever I play Stannis side.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and the fact that we're both ginger as well is just always extra win.
Exactly, mate. Everyone loves a ginger Viking with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
These champions of the Stag there, which was Dragon's Noble, giving them Sentinel. Baratheon Halberdiers. Baratheon Halberdiers are a really good unit as far as the non-specific Baratheon units go. They're really, really nice unit. With Axel Florentin, giving them Zealous Fanaticism and Intimidating Presence. Nice.
And it's also not the last time we're going to see Axel Florent as well. My partner's list has got an Axel Florent, and you just wait till you see that list.
Awesome. And Royal Lightbringer's Red Priestess, which is a really decent combo there because you get the tokens thrown out.
Isn't it? You see it everywhere you go, and there's no reason not to, because the vulnerable gets the wounds in. The panic lets you get that failed panic. That then triggers the spread fear that the archers have. It's just so many auto wounds, and you love to see it.
Yeah. And Davos Seaworth was a great NCU, and Crescent, who's a great NCU that flips those awkward crown takes into her letters, which is really nice, and also taking that priority.
Anyway, they get double bonuses with it.
Yeah, awesome.
Especially with the Kings and Queens Men update as well. Crescent just encourages players to do that.
Yeah. I think you mentioned earlier. I think that the key to that. To the King and Queensman update is the Alistair Florent is such a powerful piece when you've got them in the army, just to take it when you need it.
Absolutely, he is. Alistair Florent can do a lot in this game. He does a lot, and he can cause a lot of people a lot of problems. He is arguably, in my opinion, one of the strongest NCUs in the game. Just being able to move people off of zones, because tactics cards and requiring zones is just so important.
Yeah, definitely. Tom in the chat, same for next event. It's just because when we do 2 lists and different commanders, we had so many playing Baratheon that they could split between the two. Tilted the factions split by quite a margin. Fair enough.
Yeah, I remember actually talking to Thomas about this specifically. And it does make sense. I do understand the reasoning behind it. Some TOs, not Thomas, because obviously not, but some TOs like to just split them up because they're so wildly different. But that's why I said my argument is you don't split free folk up, and they literally change tactics deck, so they literally are a separate faction.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Nice.
Brian in the chat. Brian going on about Nick. Brian and Nick have got a bit of grudge going on. So they're going to probably just battle it out in the group chat.
Awesome.
Nick killed Brian's dragons at the last event with a single piece of paper. I think he just final striped him and just killed Drogon outright or something like that. It was insane.
Awesome.
And Brian's salty about it ever since.
Awesome. Yeah, and in second list we've got the Rainbow Guard, which are a really nice unit to see. I love seeing the Rainbow Guard being played, and I love seeing the King's Guard being played. I think they're just seeing them really cool, iconic elite units are great to just to see being played.
They look really nice painted. You get a decent paint job on them. Nice to see.
Yeah.
Very appealing.
I still would like to
Yeah.
see them make an update that allows you to use any Renly in them though. So I know you got the 3 different versions Renly, haven't you? So I quite like.
Yeah, it's such a strange thing. Like, I can understand having 3 versions of Stannis.
Yeah.
Because each different version of Stannis makes sense. 3 Renlys? Really?
Yeah.
Any version of Renly should be fine. But I also don't want to see charismatic Nair in the Rainbow Guard. So I'm just going to put that out there. That I do not want to see.
Yeah,
so I will no longer complain about
that. Awesome. Rose Knights again with Courtney Penrose, giving them some tactical repositioning to Mike the Throne. Nice. Obviously getting
interesting to see him as an attachment and not an NCU, considering how strong his NCU is. So it's nice to see him taking to the field and flexing those sword arm muscles.
Yeah. Well, I think it's obviously they're going for the Mike the Throne. So obviously, if you're attacking and you get the heal and the deal again, don't you? So I imagine that might be the reason why. Highgarden Pikeman, a nice solid 5-point unit, and Rise of Highgarden, who I think are incredible now, given the changes in the recent update. I think they're I've been using them quite a lot. I'm really enjoying them.
They were never bad. People just tried to one unit versus them, like trying to take units on 1v1, and it was just never going to work.
Yeah.
Like, I know everyone makes obviously the references to the Ride of the Highgarden being French, because of how they look, but they are the coup de grace. You finish, you weaken a unit, they come in and finish it on a single charge. They were always good. They just needed to be played that way.
Yeah.
The downside is that Baratheon's already having a low activation count meant that you couldn't already do that. So they did suffer, but that wasn't their fault. That was the army list, or rather, like their options, and people just trying to compare them to Lannister Cav. That's not what Lannister Cav are, and they're not the same as Ride of the Highgarden. Highgarden are a finisher unit off type, whereas Lannisters, they can go in and do it on their own. They don't need the support.
Yeah, I really like the changes to the Highgarden Lance, and I'd like to see this rolled out across other Lance Cavalry units, because it makes you play them in the way that Lance Cavalry should be played, which is pull them back out again and then charge back in.
All Lance Cav need to hit on 4s with a +1 to hit on the charge. I personally think that this change is a test to see if they're going to do it for the Tully Cav and the Lannisters. So it'll be interesting to see. But the Highgarden Lance should just be Lance.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with
that.
It should
be for everybody. Yeah.
Sweet. So there's a bit of bickering going in on the chat. So we'll leave them to that, I think, and carry on. Friends to use, you've got Elena Tyrell, Marjorie Tyrell, and Walder Frey. Walder Frey obviously seen a bit of a change in the latest update, but a solid choice, a really solid choice.
Again, more healing. Going to bounce off those Rose Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian said, "Stop saying egregious. We all know it's filth."
Well, I'm trying to be nice, Brian.
Awesome. Next up, we got Strahill. Strahill played at the LGT and ran a really strong cavalry list. He was on top table, and I've streamed one of his games. Maybe I'll see him again tomorrow. It'll be good to see him up close and personal again. Let's see what he's running. Eddard Stark in Eddard's Honor Guard. Sirio Friel getting that double up on the minuses for the Mama Skirmishers. Tully Cav.
-2 to hit the counter.
Yeah, solid, mate. Really solid.
What's not to like?
The clown paint mostly. And Stark Swarm Swords and Tully Cav for Winterfell Garden, Sansa, Catelyn, Howland. That's really nice. It's nice to see him not running the Eddard NCU, because that sort of sits really well with the Tully Cavs. This is really what I enjoy of the game, is when you see people running new stuff and trying out new combinations.
There's a few Howland Reed all weekend, which is nice.
Yeah. Obviously, Howland Reed then making the bloody Mama Skirmishers at -3 to hit.
Yeah, goodness gracious. Hope you like those things.
This list should be called "Quit Hitting Yourself."
Yeah, quite hitting yourself.
Awesome, good list. Second list is a variation of double Tully Cavalry for a Garden list. So he's got House Tully Swarm Shields of Brynden. So he's gone for a Tully themed army, which is good. We like theme. We enjoy a good themed army. We've got House Tully Sworn Shields of Brienne, the NCU version, not NCU, the neutral version, and Catelyn
Yeah.
Stark and Jaqen to give the influence copy. So I imagine they're looking to get some top dice on 2 units. It's a nice
I
list.
fully expect his opponents to run this list 2 out of the 3 games. It's an outrageously strong list. They're hard hitting. It doesn't die. And we all know how stupid the Tully Cap healing with the Winterfell Guardian is. 2 wounds every time.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. And this list is going to be very difficult to move. If you haven't got Sundering or Precision, you're not going to have a great time against this.
Yeah. Tom in the chat saying Mummers need some new characters. Yeah, I think they do. I think they can build out a little bit, but isn't Rouge and Biter, weren't they part of the Bloody Mummers?
Yes, they were. I'm a big fan of the Bloody Mummers. I would love to run up all Bloody Mummers list. They should have Bloody Mummer affiliation. I don't know why they don't. Especially if you're book lore people. Which is why I always found it weird how you could never take Bloody Mummers in Boltons, even when they had the neutral restrictions, because they spent more time fighting for the Boltons than anyone else. So it didn't make any sense. But that's been fixed now. But they should, Rouge and Biter should 100% give affiliation, or at least have stuff to do with Bloody Mummer stuff, because that is what they are.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So yeah, we both myself, I like to think I agree for both me and Aaron Tom that yeah, definitely, Mummers need some loving.
We love some loving Mummers.
Mama loving. Next up, we've got Dave Palmer. Dave Palmer's a veteran of the tournament scene. Oh my fucking god! Look at this. He's using is this Keijo's list for the GT? The 2 Castle Honor Guard of Gregor and Sandor, Brigands, poor fellows with Tyrion. I think
The only thing he's missing there is if he hasn't painted his Honor Guard, both units in Clegane colours, he's missing a trick.
Yeah.
Because that would be cool to see like a full Clegane themed army.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, I wonder if we'll see House Clegane become its own little mini faction. I'd be really pleased to see that, because I think that'd be quite nice, like in the Boltons.
Well, they are venturing into it, so nothing's possible.
Oh, you cut it there, say it again?
I said they are venturing into those things, so nothing impossible.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, exactly. I'm still waiting for my full House Umber list. That'd be awesome. Then we got Tywin Lannister, Pycelle, and Shay as NCUs. It's nice. The thing is, he's got Pycelle and Shay throwing out tokens there, and you've got 2 Kaiser Honor Guard. So these guys are going to absolutely blend. I would imagine I'm probably going to see David at some point tomorrow on the top table with this list. This is a dirty list.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That is going to hurt, especially when he starts turning off your abilities as well with the Lannister shenanigans. That you're not going to have a great time playing against this.
No. And the second list, we've got High Sparrow. High Sparrow obviously receiving a few changes in the recent update to his tactic cards, and I think, and the attachment, in fact, and I think that's done him a world of good, because I think it actually takes him to quite a good place now as a commander. And he's got him in the
My
card.
brother Alex plays Sparrow quite a lot. He used to take lots of faith-heavy lists. That was a big thing he went for a little while.
Yeah.
So I can imagine he's probably going to pick that back up again sometime soon. But yeah, High Sparrow's not too shabby.
Awesome. I'd like to see a new sculpt for High Sparrow, because I quite like how chilled he is, but I'd like to see him just be a bit fleshed out as a sculpt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe it was like a promo miniature or something. It'd be quite nice.
Yeah, I don't know if Dark Soul do a version of him. I don't think I've ever seen one, so I don't think they do. But
I can't remember the last time we even went on that website, but it could be worth a look.
Yep. Knights Castle Rock, powerful unit. Mountain Rides, powerful unit. Crossbows of Bronze, staple in a lot of Lannister lists. And Tywin, Pycelle, and Lord Varys. This is a strong pairing list. We're only halfway sort of through the tournament, but I think this is going to place quite well tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks very strong. It's going to take one of the other strong lists to stop this. So definitely towards the top table.
Yeah. Good luck, Dave. Next up, we've got Santiago Alvarez playing again, Lannisters.
Tyrion Commander as well.
Nice. Tyrion Commander in crossbows, living his best life.
Yeah. It's nice to see Tyrion Commander, but let's be honest, the real star of the show here is somebody's bringing Golden Company across them.
Yep. Mercenaries with a mercenary in it.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Awesome. And a 2 hard-hitting units there, Castle Rock and Mountain Ride as well. Tywin, Varys, and Pycelle is a bit of a theme going on with Lancer list. Definitely, Tywin's living his best life on the NCU bench.
Yeah. The small council is out in force, it would seem.
Yeah. Second list, Gregor in Castle Honor Guard, House Clegane Brigands, Knights Castle Rock, Poor Fellows with Tyrion attachment. That's nice. I wonder if we discussed it a while back about you're taking Tyrion in Poor Fellows, because the other option is to run Stone Crows and put him in there.
I like them.
Yeah. So I'd like to see him used more. I wonder if there's any Lancer players in the chat have you been using Stormcrows rather than Poor Fellows for this type of list. If you do, definitely bang a comment in there, because I'd like to hear some of your experience with it. It's quite funky and thematic, isn't it? Right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, always keep the thing.
And we've got Pycelle.
And then Tywin again. Yeah.
And Roos, because when you've already have tokens, the best thing you can get
as
is
if the
more
monsters
tokens.
didn't need to cause any more panic tests. They were like, do you know what? We could do with some more panic tests.
Yeah. And more tokens. Yeah, it's a solid list again, isn't it? It's a really good list. Yeah, I think Lancers are a really strong faction. I mean, it'd be quite nice to see how they get on tomorrow.
They are having a bit of a resurgence. There was a time, remember, way back when they were the Night's Watch of the game.
Yeah, it's true.
Speaking of Night's Watch, they're next.
Yeah. So I was reading for some of the comments. Shaggy loves axes.
Shagger,
yeah.
Shagger loves axes. He does like axes. This is true. Don't let anyone tell you different. Shagger likes axes.
Yeah, but Shaggy doesn't love axes. Shaggy just doesn't like being caught on the sofa because it wasn't him.
Or Scooby Snacks.
True that. Santiago in the chat, the disorganised isn't worth it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, next up, Chris Tamplin, another very, very strong player and a big name in the tournament circuit.
Last minute changes. He was Targaryen's until just before the list lock. So.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, I believe it was him. It was the last minute change that made me have to reprint a bit of paper. But yeah, pretty sure it was him.
Nice. Well, he ran Night's Watch to the UK National. So, and I think there was similar lists to this, but they are very strong lists. So you've got Shadow Tower Spearman, Awful Yarick Commander, and Satin giving you Dauntless.
The unit is just moving.
Yeah.
You don't want to charge it, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. After Shadow Tower Spearman, I've just gone from strength to strength. And that 3+ change to the armor save, making it 3+, was really crucial. So
why is that a threat save? Honestly, wow, just wow, worth it every single time.
Wearing Gromrule.
Apparently so, yeah. Dwarven Tower Speed.
And then 2 bolt throwers or 2 builder Scorpion crews. No attachments on them, but still very strong. Obviously, this will be like an anti-monster, anti-cavalry list. He's got bolt on Swarm. Yeah. Swarm Brothers with Corin Halfhound and Battle Scars and go down fighting. Battle Scars are a really nice rule nowadays, much better than it used to be. And Ranger Trackers for 6 points, and Eamon and Donald Noy NCU. That's a very good list.
Solid. Be interesting to see how that plays, but yeah, it'd be very good.
Yeah, well, by the look of it, he's gone for a defensive and an offensive list. Like, it was probably standard.
The start cavalry lists aren't going to have a good time against that.
No, I think it's probably what that's built for. And he's got quite a nice offensive list with Cotter Pike in Swarm Brothers, Watch Captain Swarm Brothers, and Vanguard and Watch Marshal solo. 3 NCUs, Eamon, Sedanis, and Donald. So this one gives a bit more punch.
There's a lot of dice in this one that's coming at you, especially with that Watch Marshal.
Yeah, remind me what the game modes tomorrow.
So we've got, I think it's Game of Thrones, Dance of Dragons, and Winds of Winter, I believe.
Nice. Yeah, I think So he's got his defensive list for the grab the token missions and the punching list for the take off the opponent one.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Next up, we have Steve Butler. Hey, Steve. Steve's playing Night's
Yeah.
Watch this time.
He is still playing Greyjoys. He's doing Greyjoys on the Sunday.
Ah, okay, cool. To be fair, though, I've never ever seen Steve play the same army twice in consecutive tournaments. First time I met Steve and played him, he was running Targaryens. Second time, he was running Baratheons. Obviously, now he's running Night's Watch, and he's saying Greyjoys on a Sunday, right?
He's just a man that gets around. But yeah, he is back to the wet men on Sunday.
Nice. Decent list there, man. So Sworn Brothers was first Master Commander. Sworn Brothers with Benjen Stark, Wall for the Wall. Veterans with Jon Snow and Ghost, and Aemon, Offal, and Peter Baelish. It's a decent.
I like it. It's a standard, strong Night's Watch list, and I like it. Nothing that really makes me raise an eyebrow.
No, yeah, it's just a
Infantry.
well-rounded list, isn't it?
I do like it.
Next up is Benjen Stark Commander with Ranger Hunters, Ranger Trackers, Ranger
List
Bank.
I like. I am a bit of a Ranger fanboy. I'm not going to deny it. And this list is a list that I like.
Yeah. Ranger Vanguards, Ranger Hunters with Hardened Ranger. I love that combo to be able to sort of zip out to the side with elusive escape.
It's so silly. After you've leveled them up with cards, if you want to go one further, put Corrin NCU on them. Movement 7, extra attack dice on both the shooting and everything. Oh, just That's all I'm going to say.
Chef kiss, moi.
Mwah.
With Aemon, Peter Baelish, and Lord Varys as the NCU. So yeah, another decent list.
Yeah.
The
other Night's Watch player.
Yeah, Stefan.
Look at that. 3 in a row. You love to see it.
So it's all a bit grey for me. So another Alistair Thorn Commander with Vets with Satin, Builder Crossbows with Samuel Tarley, giving them battle plan and bookkeeping. Cold Hands, Sworn Brothers with Corrin Halfhand, and Yorin and Gior. Don't really see that much of Yorin, but Yorin's I really like him. He's really fluffy for mag, can bring on them units conscripts for their battery healing.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can get that unit to come on at the clutch moment, especially if you can get them on slightly early when the big combat starts hitting and the game starts deciding to be swung on like turn 3, those conscripts come on and just slap 4 wounds onto a unit. It can mean a big difference and worth those 6 points. Absolutely.
Yeah. And his second list is Jon Snow Ranger Hunters, Gren in Builder Crossman with Pippa.
Very good baiting unit there.
Yeah. Ranger Vanguard with Cold Hands, giving them Sentinel, I believe. It's Sentinel with internet presence, nice. Corrin Halfhand, Citadel Manister, and Aemon as the NCUs. It's another decent list. To be fair, this one's more based on damage output. He doesn't have much. I think if it gets caught, it's going to have some.
If one of his units gets ganged up on, he'll find himself in activation advantage. He'll struggle, especially if he outflanks those Vanguard. If somebody gets like a turn 1-2 charge off before those Vanguard can do some work, I think he might struggle a little bit. But maybe he knows what he's doing, and maybe he'll surprise us. We can only wait and find out.
Yep, true that. If it goes wrong, he can always burn his dice.
Yeah. Brian in the chat, it's 3 games, mate. 3 games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday.
What's the timing schedule on the game? Just because he's saying he's out in the morning, so the first game.
2.5 hours, I want to say.
What's that?
2.5 hours, I want to say, and they start from 9:15.
Okay, cool.
I will have to just pull up my TO pack. Bad drills, but yeah, it's 2.5 hours, give or take, starting from 9:15. So he'll miss 1 maybe at best.
Yeah, but on the plus side, Brian, I am streaming them, so if you want to go back and watch it, you can go and do that. It's just the sort of service we provide.
On demand. It's like top of the pop.
Next up, we have Alex Grant. Any relation?
He is my brother. He is a Joffrey / Daemon Targaryen fanboy, hence why his name is The Pyre's Dry. Honestly, I've never seen someone stroke and kiss and just do God knows of what to a Joffrey miniature, but that's my brother. Now, one thing I will say about his army list is, which you'll see tomorrow, Grant, is all almost none of these models are Targaryen miniatures.
Okay.
They're miniatures from other factions, but they're all converted and painted into a House of the Dragon theme.
Nice.
So he's actually running an army list that is 100 years old. He has got a Daemon Targaryen model. He has got a Rhaenyra Targaryen model, which are converted out of older, like one of the Daenerys. Like I think Cersei is his Rhaenyra, and he's got a few others dotted around, but they look really impressive on the table. He's got, I think it's Golden Company for High Towers, so he's painted the High Tower sigil on them and painted them in the greens, and it looks so cool. It's really hard not to allow it because it looks really impressive on the table, and he's even won some awards for it as well, which is really nice to see, which is why I wanted to bring them to Warfare.
Yeah, awesome. So, as you say, that both lists are converted, are they?
Yeah, he uses Tully Cavaliers, Tully Cavalry for the for his armored dragon knights. He's got custom shields for his unsullied infantry. They're all Tully infantry, but with Targaryen sigil shields and spears. So they are. He's put a lot of effort into them, and they do look really nice.
Awesome. And that's a strong list as well. The unsullied list is quite good.
I've played against it, and again, you don't want to get caught with your pants down, honestly, because that precision re-rolls and every combat keyword under the sun across those units. Because the issue is as soon as you kill one unit of Unsullied, Miri just makes what other units of Unsullied even worse. Think about towards the end of the game when you've got a unit of Unsullied Swordmasters that have got all of those attachments in them.
Yeah, brutal.
It's like a unit that can take on armies, and he knows what he's doing as well. He's a good player. So again, I'm expecting good things from Alex.
Awesome.
Thomas in the chat saying they are spectacular because Thomas. It was at one of Thomas's events up in Leeds where Alex won the event. Awesome. Won a competition for his army because how good they look.
Awesome. And the second list is strong as well. The Blood Riders, Khal Drogo, Dothraki Veterans, Ricaro, 2 Dragons. That's a very punchy list. Nice.
Yeah, it's a Targaryen list, isn't it? I mean, that seems to be that those units and those combos keep the dragons alive. Cavalry does a lot of the work. You worry about the dragons more than you should, whereas the Dothraki units do the most of the damage, and then that's it. The maneuverability in that list is outrageous, especially with the Targaryen deck. So that's why it's a list very similar to that, if not the same list, is quite a common theme.
Yeah. Cool. Germano, another person I recognise from UK Nationals. Running has Stark.
Umbers.
All the Umbers.
Look at them.
Yeah. Great number. We've got in Berserkers, Ricard Karstark in Umber Berserkers, Crown Trackers, Ravagers with Brendan Tedesco combo gives me outflank. Catelyn, Sansa, and Arya using the Stark women to support him. Nice.
Stark's a strong faction. They can do anything. Yeah. It doesn't matter what your play style is. Jump into Starks, they'll look after you. You want to play defensive, they've got it. You want to play aggressive, they've got it. You want to play maneuverability and just run around everybody like a Targaryen player, they've got it. And on top of that, they hit you hard as well. Yeah. Starks have always been a good faction. They've always got options no matter who you play against. And I with the exception of the Tully Cav spam, most Stark lists, like for example here, most Stark lists are always very different. If it's not a Tully Cav spam, it's a different Stark list to the next person, and I like that.
Yeah. We're talking of lots of 4-legged friends. We've got a second army. He's got 2 Tully Cavaliers, one with Brendan Tully commander in it, and 2 Umber Ravagers with Fortune Seekers. That's a lot of fast-moving, heavy-hitting stuff, right?
Look at that healing. I said it about the other Targaryen, the Stark list, but look at that.
Yeah. With Catelyn,
those Umber Ravagers giving 2 wounds every single time they pass like a 5-up, 4-up morale.
Yeah.
Especially with Lyanna going in there to either auto pass it. That's,
Yeah.
And always rolling those 8 dice because Catelyn Stark's going to pump that to 8 dice on their first highest rank.
Yeah.
Because it's highest value, not highest rank.
Yeah. I think No, I don't. I think I'd like the Winterfell Guardian. I think the Winterfell Guardian might give him more bang for his buck now if he'd used that rather than the Fortune Seeker. But I get he'd probably try to get.
Well, maybe he's trying to get an extra punch out of the sword zone with the bags, especially with Captain start making them roll 8s.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. I can see it. I can 100% see it. There's always that. You block the sword zone, he can still hit you, and that is a big worry in starts.
Yeah. Cool. Next up, we have Brandon Keys running Targaryens.
Yeah.
Queen of Marine. Queen of Marine is one of my favourite commanders. I used to run her when she was the NCU commander, and I just think she's gone from strength to strength, really. Especially with gaining threat now, she's really good.
With their tactics deck and her attachment, it's like playing a Bolton commander in Targaryens without using neutral limit. She puts out those corpse piles. She's got the intimidating presence.
Yeah.
You know, like you play into a vicious list, especially with those dragons with the vicious and Drogon. She does so many auto wounds, and you know, it again completely changing the Targaryen playstyle. And all they've done is change a commander. Those 4 tactics cards are just it's a great theme for the faction.
Yeah.
Being able to just completely change how you play based on the fact that obviously Targaryens are a mixed mash of a little bit of everybody. Unless you're Alex, of course, where everything is House of the Dragon. But you know.
Awesome. Jorah Mormont solo, Hrakkars, Rhaegal, and the Freki Outriders are awesome unit now.
That vision, yeah. I don't think they needed it, but they got it, and as a result, they're in lists.
Yep. Yeah, they've definitely come a long way since their initial landing in the game. So I'm pleased to see them play because it's a nice, especially
Your starter set unit as well. Let's not forget that people are learning to use these the second they pick this box up.
Yeah. Pipe Bree, Miri Mesdor, and Hizdahr Zolorak. Nice to see Hizdahr being played. I quite rate him as NCU, and now he gets buffs.
Has an obsession about binning your tactics deck, so that's what he's playing into. So if you value your tactics cards and you pull against Bran, maybe like hide them under the table or something because he's coming for them and he's going to bin them.
Awesome. Darren Harris in the second list in Unsullied Swordmasters, Stormcrow Mercenaries of Ramsay and Reek, Stormcrow Archers with Jockin, Stormcrow Dervishes with Widower. Nice. I like this. Nice themed list, isn't it?
And how often do you see a Stormcrow list either neutral or Targaryen? Like, obviously, Jockin has made it a little bit more prominent than it used to be, but he's not even commander in this one. He's gone for the Dario commander. So he's getting those extra attacks off of, obviously, the first round, one of the tactics cards. So, you know, the Stormcrow Mercenaries, keeping being left alive, panic tokens for the auto wounds.
Yeah, stunnering on the Stormcrow Dervishes. Nice.
They're going to do some work, those Dervishes.
Yeah. And Miri Mesdor and Peter Baelish as your NCUs. Solid. So Peter Bid. I'll try and catch up with him tomorrow. Peter's one of the guys from Norwich, and we're looking to move across into there and do stuff like with UCAT. So I'll catch up with him tomorrow. But he's a really nice bloke. He ran neutrals at the UK Nash as well. So it's nice to see that he's sort of sticking with it. But so we're talking about mummers, and he's gone from mummer list. So he's got a Vargo Hope in skirmishers. He's got Sandok again in skirmishers. He's got Bronn in Golden Country Crossman, and he's got the Blade Mummers All Shrouds with Glory Seeker, and Peter Baelish, Lord Varys, and Shay. Obviously, Shay, all 3 of them are great NCUs in their own right. But Shay
neutrals,
quite a lot.
Peter Baelish and Varys every single time. They're the first 2 you add in, and they always do work for you. And I play neutrals a lot. I like to main them as often as I can. I'm a neutral / free folk guy as my main. And again, I saw this guy running the neutrals, and I was like, yes. And then he was running all bloody mummers, and I was like, yes. And then I saw his NCUs, I was like, yes. It's like I'm actually playing in the event without actually playing in the event. And, you know, it's really good to see. I get variation as well. When you see neutrals, you see Jockin Commander everywhere. Or at least that you did before, obviously, thankfully, that change happened. But mummers are making an appearance. Zorses, baby, let's go.
Nice. It's in the chat. Tom Whitworth, love me a Stormcrow Targ list with Dario. Dervish is sick, never see them. Yeah, it's a shame. They're missing something, but perhaps we're going to see it ball out tomorrow with the Sundering maybe.
Brian in there. Brian being really salty. Probably not salty actually, but I don't know. The last game that he played at my last event was him and Alex, and honestly, that game was something to watch. I can't even describe it. Like anything that could go wrong for both players went wrong. Everything that could go right went right. Like it was a game you couldn't make up. And honestly, they were so loud. It was just drowning everything out because of how outrageous it was. So yeah, Brian's got a bit of a gripe with half of my team, but yeah, I see you in the chat, Brian. I see you.
So on the second list, we've got Golden Company Swords with Jokin, Golden Company Crossbows with Bron, and Storm Company Mercenaries with Bryn, and Storm Company Dervishes with the Widow again, and the same NCU lineup. So yeah, some decent list there by Peter.
Strong, solid. I like it. Golden Company, it's nice to see.
Yeah. It's a shame they got nerfed as hard as they did, because it was nice to see that unit out a bit more, but it's still a good unit.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm glad they did, because again, Golden Company Swordsmen had the same issues as Flayed Men, early Flayed Men. They were everywhere. They were all the time, and it was boring. It was like, come on, just pick something different.
Yeah.
They did need it. What they need is their own commanders. That's what I'm waiting for. I've got 2 units of Swordsmen waiting to go. I want to play a Golden Company only army. You can get a nice themey Golden Company army if you run one of the Renly commanders. It matches the lore in the book, and you use some of the Renly units. It kind of matches how they feel in the lore for a fluff reason. So Renly, Baratheon, Golden Company heavy. Unfortunately, the changes to neutral limits has restricted how fluffy you can make it now. But if you're playing at home, look at a Renly commander and just play a friendly where you just put Renly in an army of Golden Company, and it feels really nice.
Nice. Next up, we've got Ed Morgan playing Martells. Darkstar Retinue. Mate, that is an awesome combo. We played quite a lot down the club with one of my friends, Dan Toon, and watching him run this unit is absolute filth. Getting that critical blow, fuel by slaughter, the overrun, and on top of Arahotar's coordinated assault is brutal. Really, really brutal. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how you
a lot of ability in one place, isn't it? Like a lot's going on with that unit.
Yeah.
And that's before we start talking to its cards. And Martel's cards already do a lot.
Yeah, it's because it's always felt that Martel were missing that really heavy hitting unit, and I think Arahotar in Darkstar Retinue give them a little bit of that.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of. If you're not running Obara, Arahotar will do it.
Yeah. 2 units of Martel Spearman, giving you that little swift reposition, tactical reposition. Sorry. Sunspear Royal Guard with Aris Oakheart, giving you the protection of the crown. Nice. I don't ever see him using attachments. I'll be interested to see how he gets on with that tomorrow.
I mean, protection of the crown's always good, right?
Yeah.
You know, re-rolls defense dice, don't sleep on it, especially on a 4-up save unit, which also has shield wall. Let's not forget the shield wall on that. Re-rolling before shield, like after or before shield wall. You know, don't sleep on it, and I like it. And it should be good to see. He's got a nice solid center with 2 aggressive units to do the work. So, yeah, and he can shift around as much as he needs with that 2 tactical position.
Yeah. And Dervishes with Harm and Ulla, giving them reinforcements and Doran's conviction. So, it'd be quite nice seeing them run. Again, Dervishes really nice miniatures. And we have. Go on.
As well.
So go ahead.
Keeping the Dervishes on the highest profile as well with those Harmon's thingy. Dauntless healing them up, being only a 4-up save, they need it, but keeping them rolling 7 dice, especially with all those keywords as well. It's nice.
Yeah, really good. And Doran, Alaria Sand as NCUs, it's a good combo. Again, it's Doran Martell is a great NCU now. He's just a big multi-tool kit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Second list, we have Oberyn again in Sunspear Royal Guard, where he likes to live. And then he's got Darkstar Retinue with Quentin Martell.
Something like that vulnerable token, I'm not so sure.
What's that?
On the Marshal training. Oberyn living in this Sunspear Royal Guard. I think it might be because of the vulnerable token. But I don't know.
Might be. 2 units Martel Spearman again, and Sand Skirmishers. I love that unit. Alaria Sand and Dora Martell. It's yeah, it's decent. It's quite similar, but obviously one's more
Yeah, he's a solid Martel player. The dice gods don't let him be a solid dice player. He's a guy that you could give him 60 points and he will still get tabled because the dice will just table him. But when it goes right for him, he does well. So I'm hoping he can drag himself out of bottom tables. Tomorrow. But the last time I played him with my free folk, I tabled in turn 2. So we'll see how it goes this time round. Thankfully, I'm not playing, so we should be able to last a little bit longer.
awesome. Next up, we have Jacob Bailey running Greyjoys. Obviously, Jacob's a really big man about the scene when it comes to song. He's won a lot of events. He's come close to top on some of the largest song events that there has been in the UK. And he's doing really well with House Greyjoy. So he's running a black tie chosen with Baylor, Ironborn Bowman, Ironborn Trappers, Ironborn Reavers with Theon Greyjoy, Ironmakers, and then Eric Ironmaker, Balon, and Baron. Balon is the king of all NCUs when it comes to Greyjoys. I love him. And then we have our Aggie list with Victorian Greyjoy and Silence Men, Ironborn Bowman Baylor, Ironmakers with Asher Greyjoy, and Black Tie Chosen with Newt, with Balon, Baron, and Roderick. Is this the only Greyjoy player we have in the tournament?
He is. He was a latecomer. I had to create a ticket for him. He's in, and he's bringing the Greyjoys.
Nice.
Yeah. A typical pirate rocking last minute, taking all the glory. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. He'll do well with Greyjoys. Jacob's a great player, really understands the game. So putting a decent faction in his hands like Greyjoys will just up the tempo.
Yeah, it'd be good to see. Yeah. I like Greyjoys. I love that. I think I cut out there. I love Greyjoys. They just look so good.
Yeah. I'm about to release a new series called Squires of Ice and Fire, where we're starting new armies and basically building from a core set, and I'm running Greyjoys for that because I just love them. It gives me a reason to paint them.
Beyond Commander and Bastard Girls. That's all I'll say. That's all I will say.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Then Brad Blackburn. That's another name about town. Running Targaryens.
Yeah. The Wardens are out in force as well this weekend. 3 of them tomorrow.
Targaryens. He should be running. Doesn't he run Martells all the time?
He did. He changed last minute. Made me change my paperwork. I'm not pressed, but it's fine. I'll allow it.
He's a quitter. That's why he's a quitter.
Yeah, boo to him.
Awesome. So we've got Cole Drogo.
He's bringing Flademan as well. He's being that guy bringing Flademan.
Oh, he is as well. Look at that. To be fair, yeah. Well, to be fair,
at least it's not flayed men with Recaro, because Sentinel flayed men that can't ever be weakened. As Alex is obsessed with that unit, I have become unbelievably unobsessed with that combination. It is not fun to deal with.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's Glory Seeker and not Recaro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or Drogo. Drogo's a solid choice for Flaymen, giving them punching. To be fair though, he was a staple to Flaymen in Targaryens for a long time, Khal Drogo, but with the recent, well not recent, but with the season 4 changes to Blood Riders, they're actually really good now, Blood Riders. So I don't understand why you'd go with Khal Drogo. So I'll just convince myself I'm wrong. So that's all good. Right then, Rhaegal, Harakars and Daenerys Targaryen giving the dragons more attacks. Illyrio giving some heals, and Quaithe giving us some maneuverability. Quaithe is a really good character. When you understand how the NCU works and the intricacies and the timings and stuff, that is a really dirty NCU.
It is in an army that is already double moving, because obviously being all cavalry, they get that extra maneuver. Yeah. Like this army is everywhere all at once. You can't catch up with it. And then Quaithe comes in and goes, hey, do you know what would be really cool in this army? More maneuverability. And there she is. And also, again, think about it for those dragons. As soon as you go to attack the dragon, just retreat the dragon. Keep those weak dragons alive, because dragons are strong, but bastard girls can kill them in a single attack. Yeah. You know, with the shooting and the charging. If you retreat the dragons out and you can't kill that dragon, it is going to do work. So those retreats keeping dragons alive is just, mwah, there's a chef's kiss moment.
Awesome. So that looks like his aggro list, and his defensive list looks at Marcelin, in Unsullied Swordmasters, 3 men, Jorah Mormont, the Wandering Knight, Dothraki Outriser with Fortune Seeker giving him, yep, my coin, yep, and Brazen Beast with Skyhaze. What a hero! Brazen Beasts are awesome. Myself and James discussed at length on the channel.
Anybody who says Brazen Beasts are rubbish needs to just go play a different game. I like these a lot.
Yeah.
Not the ornaments. It's the same as Zorse Riders. You can turn off defensive abilities. Who cares if you're rolling 6 dice on 4s? That's not what you're bringing them for. You're turning off abilities. You've got the free flank charges, and look at their points value. You can make that attack dice better by simply just being in their flank and picking the +1 attack and critical blow. You've got other ways of doing it through other tactics cards. Sure, they don't like getting hit, but it's a 5-point unit. They're not there to do work on their own. They're there to tie somebody up or to come in and finish somebody off. And, play them right. A movement 6 unit with Sentinel. That's, again, they're basically cavalry now at this point because they get a free maneuver, same as cavalry do. So you haven't even got to charge with them. You can just move them into somebody's flank because then you're then getting both the Motley Armaments abilities. So a big thing with Sentinel, especially with Golden Company Crossmen, Sentinel's rubbish. Well, stop charging with them then. Use it as a maneuver to get into flanks. Use it to turn around and shoot in a different direction. And once people understand that with Sentinel, Brazen Beasts they're great. Love them.
Yeah.
I like to see more of them. And they're really cool models. Let's be honest. They're really cool.
Really cool, mate. It's one of my favourite models in the game. Is the Standard Bearer with a hippo holding the banner. But he as well, he's got the combination of Brazen Beast and the 3 men. So if he can get into the flank of a unit engaged with 3 men, he's rolling like 8 dice, hitting all 3s.
That's literally my point, right? Yeah. You can increase that profile from 6 on 4s to 7 on 3s. Charge in the side, that's 8 on 3s. Purely because of gang up. And you get that for free with Marlison, or obviously 3 points for freedmen. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
They're just great.
Yeah, and with Skyhaze in the flank as well, it gives them vicious in the flank, so that'd be, it's a good point. It's a good
-3
unit.
Critical blow. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, more people should use Brazen Beasts.
I think.
Yeah, Pipery, Missandei, and Hizdar. It's the first time we see Missandei. I really rate Missandei as an NCU, especially if you've got the right commander. I love using her with Jorah Mormont commander. So it'll be interesting to see how Brad gets on using her with Marsland. I imagine he's going to try and pull out some followers of the dragon early on.
Yeah, absolutely. Or, if you want to be that guy in that aggressiveness, slap your Overon out, set that up with the dragon. That can hurt. Missandei is not to be slept on. Targaryen tactics cards are good.
Yeah.
Especially if you know how to play their faction. They are good. Yeah. I like the Highgarden tactics deck.
They've got Glyn Jones, another Warden of the South, and this time we've got another Free Folk army. This time we've got the Great Walrus in Shore Hunters. We've got Ephemerals of Brock. We've got Free Folk Raiders with Jarl, Giant Spearthrower, Cave of Savages, Brock's Boar, Free Folk Raiders with a Raid Leader, and then Lady Val and Craster NCU. That's a very balanced list. It's got some range, got some close combat, got lots of activations. That's a really nicely balanced list.
As a Free Folk player who only plays infantry, because I haven't took a giant in about 3 years because I rolled so many ones that I just sold half of them, and I can't be dealing with them anymore because I kept rolling too many ones. I like that. He's got unit presence. He's got his traps for harassment. He's got units that stick still, such as the Thens, that want to sit in combat. He's got the punch in the Cave of the Savages, and obviously the Giant also can do both. He can sit there and take a hit as well as dish it out from range. It's balanced. This list can go comfortably against a lot of things. Cavalry and hard-hitting units he'll probably struggle with because, Raiders don't stand up to a 9 dice sundering charge in your side, but he plays his cards right, gets those angles right. He should be able to at least hold on, score those points, just win by points. If they can't take those points off you, you will win. And regardless if they hit hard or not, you just have to just not die. And as long as he's got the presence, which I think he does, especially bodies.
I think we lost you a bit there, mate. What was the last bit?
I said he's got a lot of bodies on this list.
Yeah,
he's not going anywhere if you can't get him off those points. So Endless Horde, bringing 2 of these back. Yeah, very strong.
Yeah.
Should be good. I like this.
I think it has got some gaming cavalry though, because of the giant spear thrower. Like if the cavalry units get too close and it starts getting those multiple hits, multiple wounds, hits, spear thrower shots at them, that could be a problem for some people.
Yeah, to be fair, you can. Maybe not on all cavalry lists, but if somebody's got only like one unit of strong cavalry and you can weaken that down to its last rank, your raiders will survive that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I like it. It should be good.
Nice. In fact, that's probably one of my favourite lists so far from Free Folk in this tournament. So
Let's also just talk about the Great Walrus as well. I don't see him anywhere really. I can't actually remember the last time I've actually seen him in a tournament. I could be wrong. I could just not be checking his stats like a chump, but I haven't seen him anywhere, and I like him. I want to start trying him as a Free Folk player now that obviously we've got the Bear Riders for an extra Frozen Shore unit, because I think the Hunters are just so good. But you know that them just putting a weakened token out or whatever just because, like, that's great.
Yeah. And the second list is gone for a monster heavy list with Mag the Mighty as a commander, a giant spear thrower, 1/1, another giant spear thrower, and 3 Folk Raiders with Jarl, and Fen Warriors, and 1 NCU. Living the dream with Ygritte.
Yeah. Giants do all the work. 2 infantry units on the objective. It's a solid play. I like it.
Yep. Nice. Decent lists. Daisy Burn, yeah. Cool. So this is your beloved, right?
This is my and this list. She likes Boltons. Boltons are her thing. You know, she likes them, but she obviously suffers from the same issue that everybody else does with Boltons, right? They're just not internally rounded well enough. They require too much to happen at once. They're not very forgiving, you know. So she was looking elsewhere to take Boltons and still do what Boltons want to do. And in Baratheons, they do it, and they do it better. So for just for reference, every single unit in this list has got Vicious, and every single combat unit has got Intimidating Presence for a start. And that's before we start talking the Spread Fear and the Melisandre NCU. This unit doesn't kill you with swords. This unit kills you with panic tests that you're going to be taking at -4 +2, some cases -5 +3 wounds. This list hurts. And you can't do anything about it because, you know, they're not orders, they're not tactics cards, it's just abilities. Yeah. It just happens.
Yeah. It's a nice list.
It's a very nice list, very strong.
Yeah. It's got a, you know, just a bit of everything in there, isn't it? You know, they've got the ranged, offense, defense. They've got lots of
You've got 2 Spread Fear in that unit with Roose Bolton Spread Fear. The R'hllor Lightbringer Spread Fear. So that's 4 panic tests alone. Melisandre makes another panic test, and each unit attacking you, each one is at -3 +1, maybe even higher than that. Like with Shira as well for those tokens. This. Yeah. If you've got even if you're playing Night's Watch, you're looking at routinely taking a 9-10 up morale tests +2 wounds for failing. Yeah. Like it only has to get 1 wound in, and this is going to hurt you. This list.
Nice. And the second list: Andrew Estamont in Stag Knights, Bronning Kingsmen, Red Priestess in Bolton Bastard Girls, and Champions of the Stag with Melisandre and Davos as NCUs.
Tokens. Aggression, she's coming for you, so watch yourself, because she doesn't like hanging around. She doesn't like objectives. She plays for the table, and this list shows it. So, stand by, because Daisy's coming.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. Next up, we have Harry Highgarden from the Shed Gaming Club, running Lannisters. He's got High Sparrow in House Clegane Mountains Men. We've got Champion of the Faith Warrior Sons, Bronn in Lannister Crossman. We have the Mountain that Rides, Lannister Halberdiers of Argo Hope, which is a really awesome combo because that's set for charge, get a weakened token out, and just get rid of attachments. Brutal. And Sharon Qyburn as NCUs. It's a nice list. I really like the new Qyburn as well.
I normally see Qyburn as an attachment with my brother because he just puts Qyburn in Pyromancers, and that is not a fun time for anybody. You know, it's just not fun. But yes, seeing him as an NCU, I like him.
Yeah.
I think, you know, again, it's just more token play for the Lannisters. Getting those wounds in. Wounds for Lannisters means panic test, and that's obviously how we know where they shine.
Yeah. Yeah. And nicely, Mountain's been being run as well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Mountains, especially with that intimidating presence as well. You know, that's really going to keep them alive, keep them topped off.
Yeah. Yeah, in the second list, we've got Kevin Lannister. We haven't seen him in a while as a commander, so it's nice to see him out again. In Castle Rock Honor Guard, again, what is quite clear from this tournament is Castle Rock Honor Guard, that change they made to him brought him into the game with a scream and a cry and a swing of a sword.
The thing is about Castle Rock Honor Guard, right, is I was one of the guys who was an advocate for them when they were first launched. And they were always really good. Yeah, they were expensive, but they were always really good. And I've got 3 words for you, and it is Meryn fucking Trant. Because as long as you've got Joffrey and Meryn Trant's in there, that's a panic to weaken token every time you attack with the Honor Guard. And you know, back before, arguably they've got a lot better now, but even back then, the panic and the weaken tokens are the ones that were doing a lot of work with the Honor Guard. Kevan in there with the stuff that he brings. He's my go-to Lannister commander. He always has been. Love Kevan. And the Honor Guard are just good. They always have been. They're some of the nicest models in the game as well. Absolutely love them. And it's nice to see that people have got over their lion's pride, if you will, and are actually starting to bring them. It's nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you got Lance Crossman Bron, which is a solid combo. Lannister Halberdiers with Meryn Trant.
He is Meryn Trant,
yeah. Brigands with Glory Shaker. And Joffrey, Shay, and Alvaris. Joffrey obviously is such a powerful piece for the Lannister playstyle.
If you were to pick the best in-faction NCU in the game, it's Joffrey.
Agreed. Yeah.
Joffrey, let's be honest, he is the king. You expect nothing less from the king of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah.
But if you were to look at every NCU in their own faction and rate them, Joffrey takes the cake. Just always counting as the crown. You activate Joffrey, you put him on the bags. I think connections just cut out. Are we back?
No, you're back.
No, okay, cool. Yeah, you take Joffrey, you slap him in the bags. Your whole army's turned on. Every card works. Counterplot, just automatic. Like, he is just arguably an auto-include.
Yeah. If someone says to me, so as someone has played Starks regularly recently, or we'll go with Starks. So I play Starks regularly. So if someone said to me, "Here's an NCU that means as soon as you put them on the board, you can have control on the swords," I'd never leave it at home.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy because it's not.
And those Lannister cards are not to be sniffed at.
Yeah.
The +1 to the panic test for each zone or whatever those cards do. Like, yeah, it's just because don't forget that not only are you counting controlling those cards to turn your Kingsguard on, turning those cards on, controlling those zones with Joffrey, they're not morale tests, they're panic tests, which means Joffrey is dealing wounds just by existing. And that's before we even talk about his influence, which is, you guessed it, even more wounds.
Yeah.
And, you know, thankfully Daisy hasn't worked it out yet, but I think she did after a conversation the other day. But you look at a Bolton heavy, spread fear, intimidating presence, bam, in Lannisters, and then you slap a Joffrey in there for even more of it. Your army just dies without even rolling attack dice. You know, Lannister players always win games by playing cards. That's what they do. They are the paperwork faction, and I think they need to stay that way. And Joffrey just turns. He makes a soft paper book into a hardback. Like, it hits you harder, and I love him. He needs to be in more lists. This is weirdly the only iteration of Joffrey all weekend, which I'm very surprised to see.
Yeah, as I said to you earlier, I really like it when people run the Kingsguard because it's such an iconic unit. So it's a shame we've not seen more of him.
His commander's nothing to sniff at either. Those cards. He was really good. A lot of people say he needs work to make him work, but if you know what you're doing with Lannisters, especially if you focus a lot on the extra panic through Lannister supremacy or whatever, you know, Joffrey's great.
Yeah.
Love him. Both forms, but his NCU is just,
awesome. Oh, you there?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, sweet. And next up we've got Pascal, another name about town. I love Pascal. He's
And another Dario Harris as well. Look at that.
yeah. Obviously Pascal, for as long as I've known him, he's always run Baratheon. So last tournament I think he ran Starks, and now he's running Targaryen. So it's nice to see him playing other factions as well. Just going to the chat as well. Brian's saying there's some really tough lists tomorrow. There really is. There really is.
Going to be some strong competition for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, got a Dorian Harris list with Unsullied Swordmasters, Mercs with a Lieutenant, Golden Company Crossman, Bronn, the Fracky Screamers with Hago, which one's that? Fuel by Slaughter, Dirty. And Peter Baelish, Zaro, and Illyrio as NCUs. I rate Zaro very highly as an NCU, given the changes he's received in Season 4. I think he's absolutely stunning as an NCU now.
Yeah. It's a bit wordy, but he's worth the read.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Learn out what he does,
Yeah.
and you won't regret it.
Second list, we got Marsland in Unsaved Swordmasters, Jorah Mormont, the Andal in Brazen Beast, given him martial training and stands ground. Freedmen, the Fracky Outriders and Fortune Seeker, and Stormcrow Mercenaries with Sandal Clegane, the Fugitive Bodyguard. With Pirate Free, his Lazo Lorak and Missandei as NCUs. Again, Missandei presumably fishing for the Followers of the Dragon card.
Yeah. And probably got to get those freedmen. Now that's a whole extra activation as well. Like that's forcing your opponent to just do things, because you can just be like, oh, this unit of freedmen is just going to maneuver, and you could really make your opponent struggle with prioritizing what he's going to do when you can just start spamming those freedmen and just these things out.
Just checking that second list. So if he does pull that unit of freedmen out early, that's a 9 activation Targaryen list.
And that's before we even start talking about the gang up. Those Brazen Beasts become scary with that gang up. Unsullied Swordmasters with gang up, we all know what it does. That's great. All of a sudden, Stormcrow Mercenaries aren't bad either. They're just a force multiplier, and it gives your opponents something to have to worry about. They'll have to spend a turn to get rid of them or suffer the consequences. And the consequences can be quite severe in Targaryens, especially when you've got things like Overrun, just to tie you up. I would happily place a bet that it's going to be getting the freedman out with Missandei.
Yeah, nice. Then we have Neil Drummond, Fussy Beaver, running Martells. Oberyn Martell in Sunsbury Royal Guard. Who'd have thought?
There's a surprise,
yeah. Spearman Captain, Martell Spearman. Spearman Captain is a really good attachment. That threatens.
Is great.
Yeah.
It's just great. Those for 1.6 weakened tokens. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sand skirmishers with High Hermit Sentinel, giving them +1 move, I believe, and enhanced mobility and ambush. Starfall Outriders. I think it's the first unit of Martell Cavalry we've seen all tournament.
It is. They've all been infantry. This is the first of the horsey ladies. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. They're a really good unit.
And a strong NCU package to boot as well.
Yeah. Again, Dorian is
lots of broad control on that one.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see a point increase to Dorian, because he's such a toolbox of a piece to take to a game.
He's in every list.
Yeah.
He's in every list, so he's going to get changed. And there's a reason why he's in every list, is because he is really good bang for your buck. And even at 5 points, he's still a steal.
Yeah.
He's still worth it at 5 points, especially when you compare him and Joffrey.
Yeah. 100%.
We were just talking about, like, come on.
Yeah.
5 points.
Tie in Sand, obviously, with a new version of the Strangler. Yeah. So it's much better tool piece now for the Martell players. Peter Baelish as a little finger. Then we've got Harmon Ulla in Sunsbury Royal Guard, and then we have Spearman Captain in Martell Spearman, Spear Lord in Sand Skirmishers, Starfall Outriders. Very similar style lists, but the difference in commander will show there, because Harmon's a much more of a not defensive commander, but he's got more attrition to him. And also
completely changed my style. I like Harmon Ulla. He was one of my go-to. I think I'm more Gerald Dane now. I can't remember his name. I think it's him, or it's a different one. But yeah, I've just started turning into Martells, and Harmon Ulla is one of my go-tos because he just fits my play style.
Yeah, comes with battle. What's the fucking card?
Endurance.
Battle endurance. Yeah, that's such a good card.
Especially because he's buffing your units while their units are getting worse.
Yeah.
With obviously the what's it called? You know the one that gets worse throughout the game. The one that punishes you, that stops healing and stuff. What's it called? Rising temperatures. That's the one.
There you
go. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, nice.
You get better, they get worse. What's not to like?
And again, a really solid NCU package. Dora Martell again. Ariane Martell is such a good NCU. Like I really learned how good she was when I ran Boltons into her. And she kept my bastard girls into fucking 4 dice bowman. It was so shit.
Yeah. Again, turning off abilities. We've seen some units in this video that are just stacked with so many abilities. They win just because they've got more words than you on their card. And then Ariane Martell comes in and just goes, no, I don't think so. And then all of a sudden, that 9-point unit is worth about 4 points. And then, it's all downhill from there.
Yeah. And Ariane Martell NCU is a really decent NCU as well. So it's nice.
I prefer him as an NCU format, personally.
You prefer
him as NCU.
Yeah.
But that's because I prefer the sustain and the grind. That's just me, though. Each to their own. Some people clearly like those vulnerable tokens.
Nice. And then for the final list, mate, Ryan Dell. Iran Targaryen's UK National is Ryan Targaryen's again. We've got a Jorah Mormont Commander in the Dothraki Veterans, which is really nice. If he's got Missandei, no, Missandei. I love Jorah Mormont Commander with Missandei to pull out flanking.
That's Miri, not Missandei.
What's that?
That's Miri, not Missandei.
No. But I prefer having Missandei with Jorah Mormont. Yeah. What's the flanking maneuver in it? One that gives you the 3 charges, or
so superior flanking, I think, or something like that.
Flanking maneuver, yeah.
It's the same card as what Harmer in Free Folks got. It's such a great card.
Yeah, especially with them vets, because with the veterans you can get around the side, take the shot into the flank, charge in the flank, and ping around the back, or shoot the front.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's such a good card.
And then you just got veterans running around unchecked behind your opponent. They turn around to deal with it, and then you get unsullied in the rear, and it's like, every situation's a losing situation.
Yeah. He's got unstudied Swordmaster with Golden Company Officer, giving them boisterous charisma. Naughty, very naughty. And then Dauntless. So each time they pass a morale test, you're going to take a wound and become vulnerable and weakened. Merry Christmas.
They're going to heal 2 wounds because of the Swordmaster's change.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2 wounds back on this unit. That unit is not afraid to throw itself in the combat because it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Every time you attack it, you come back.
Nice. Rise with the Force Seeker, giving them a shot again. Hrakars are really good for 4 points now. And then you've got Pirate Pre, Miri Mazdur, and Hasdarzo Lorak. Really nice. Pirate Pre's really good nowadays. We've seen him quite a few times in these lists, but yeah, it doesn't need restating. He's a quality character.
Yeah, tactics cards are so important in the game now, and him just looking at them. But let's not even without discarding them, but looking at them to know what your opponents can do, especially if you're a regular in this game and you play a lot of the factions, or you've played against them enough to understand what each faction wants to do. Just looking at those tactics cards on its own is great, and then the fact you can bin one on top of that, even better.
Yeah. Second list is Grey Worm in Unsullied Pikeman. Jorah Mormont, the Wandering Knight. Seen Jorah solo quite a bit in these lists, so that's quite nice to see him coming back. Unsullied Swordmasters with Ramsay and Reek. That's an absolutely filthy unit, that is. I played that multiple times. That's disgusting. An Unsullied Pikeman with Belwas, which gives them the new battle scars. Pirate Pre, Miri Mazdur, and Hasdarzo Lorak as NCUs again. Miri's a quality NCU after the changes. But yeah, 2 solid lists there. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, all our Targaryen players, with the exception of the Marlison list, they're all different in some way. And it just kind of like speaks. And obviously the 2 Dario lists, but even then they've got slightly different units. And it just goes to show just how flexible Targaryens have become now. And I like it. It's again, you're not seeing Mother of Dragons, 3 dragons in every single list now, and that's nice. It's nice to see that. Not only because it's nice to not play against 3 dragons every 5 minutes, but it's nice to see representation.
Yeah, I think there's yeah, I've always loved Targaryens. They're really good, but no one was brave enough to run Barrios and Selmy though, were they?
I think Alex does. I think Alex, who plays the House of the Dragon style Targaryens, has run it once or twice.
Yeah.
There are unfortunately better options, and that's just a fact of all wargaming. There's always going to be somebody who's better than you. I don't think he's bad, but in a high stakes tournament, especially looking at some of these lists, people like Grey One and Khal Drogo are just going to take it every time, unfortunately. But we've still got Dario, we've still got Marlison. We've even got, I think we've even got a Shakat on Sunday. So, like, it's a nice mix.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's just done the list checking. I think we got to get. Oh well, I've definitely got to get to bed because I've got to get up nice and early to drive down there to all you lovely people in the flesh.
Yeah, and we'll be there. Everybody else will be arriving. Hopefully before 9 o'clock, so I can get the brief done early. But here's hoping.
Yeah, cool. And obviously we'll be streaming the first game. The link will go out around about 9 o'clock, and you reckon the game will start 1:15, right?
Yeah. The game is scheduled to start at 1:15, so as close to that as possible. I have left an hour break for lunch and stuff so that we can flex into that if we need to.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wanted to give people time to enjoy the show as well. You know, I don't want people to just come in, play games, and miss the fact that Warfare is such a great, massive show and miss out on all the good stuff that's going on. So I wanted to make sure people have got a lot of time to really enjoy themselves. And, you know, some song games can last half an hour. You know, we've all been there. So
yeah.
That's why I think I've put those that hour lunch in. I'd rather not eat into that, but it should be good.
Cool. Okay. And just for Brian, if you're still in the chat, the put the times up on screen there, mate. So yeah, 9:15 till 11:30 is the first game, 11:45 till 2 o'clock second game, and then 3 till 5:15 is the third game. So hopefully, mate, we'll see you in the chat there tomorrow for that. Could be cool to have a catch up over some games. Yeah.
He is a slut for song, and we all know it.
Very true. Cool. Okay, man. Well, cheers for your time, Alex, mate. Appreciate you. Fuck Alex. Fucking hell. Aaron.
An insult of the highest order, but I'll allow it. In a long video, I'll allow it.
Nice. Well,
but yes, I will see you tomorrow, and looking forward to seeing everybody else as well.
Awesome. Okay, man. Right, you take care. Cheers for your time, and I'll see you fresh and early, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you bright and early.
Take care, man. Bye.